You know that racing game? That the big arcade racing games they have there?
The cars?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We did that here in the studio.
How?
Yeah.
It was on
It was
the
on Switch,
it was on the Switch, but still. And
It was Joe and I versus those two to see which Buzz is superior.
Did you guys beat?
of course we did.
I never
How,
doubted for a
how
second,
dare you
man.
doubt us?
I did not doubt. I was just
Because-
confirming for everybody else.
Because Monday Buzz is not old. Monday Buzz knows how to get the job done. And
You know, there's a quote that goes, if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it'll spend its whole life believing it's stupid. In other words, some people have a different skill set or are better at some things than others, if you will. So just because you won one racing game doesn't mean you know how to run a better news show. Welcome to the Tuesday Morning Buzz. I am your host, Kyle Pepitone, joined here with my co-host, Jacob Goetz, our newscaster, Aiden Ivers, our sportscaster, Tanner Price, and our segment host, Emily McCormack. How are you all doing this morning?
I'm doing fantastic, Kyle.
That's awesome to hear.
I've been better.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm gonna the Monday Buzz. No words. Rematch.
I
That's
don't
a
know.
bad idea, but
I don't know. We can do news. Video games are not our strong suit.
exactly. I gave you the tunes, not the racing unicorns.
How do you judge one buzz based on just two people in it? What if one of us is
that's
good at
true.
a racing
That's
game?
true. What if they just had a bad sample for racing?
Put
I'm
me
good at other things.
put me against anyone on Mario Kart Wii.
Yeah, let's go. Actually,
It's over.
Well,
to be continued.
yes, that is topic for another talk. It is the Morning Buzz. This is the first day of February 2022. You know who everyone is. We have a show for you. We've got updates about Ukraine and Russia, some unfortunate news about a bridge collapsing, and some really awful people who like to play in the snow. With that being said, before we get to any of that, we have Aiden Ivers here with our newscast. Aiden, take it away.
Thank you, Kyle, and good morning, everybody. My name is Aiden Ivers, coming at you live from 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, New Jersey. In national news, a federal judge rejects the plea in Travis McMichael court case. A plea agreement has been rejected in a court case involving Travis McMichael, which ultimately would have led to, quote, a supervised release from federal prison. In statewide news, 1,987 COVID cases have been reported across New Jersey, with 22 new COVID deaths. But the state's 7-day confirmed case average has gone down 42%. And in local news, a Passaic firefighter ran through the fire to rescue a woman from building. Lieutenant Joe Ivanaki saved a 65-year-old woman from a burning Passaic building. And after she was rescued, he went back in to rescue more people. 4 others were sent to the hospital along with the woman. And for the weather, today is a little chilly with a mildly cloudy sky and a high of 33 and a low of 25. Tomorrow is Wednesday, and we are breaking the chilly habit with a high of 42 and a low of 35 with cloudy skies. And Thursday, same deal, high of 43 and low of 37 with potentially light rain. And then Friday, we're looking at a high of 40, a low of 16 with a mix of rain and snow. And this weekend, we go back to the drawing board with a high of 28 and a low of 10 degrees on Saturday and a high of 33 and a low of 24 on Sunday. Almost.
You know, this weekend, I believe it was Saturday, the weather said whatever temperature it was, and then it said it felt like was -1. At that point, I'm like, okay, nothing could be, everything is better than that, right? There's no way, like anything I experienced that's higher than -1 should be tolerable.
This has to be rock bottom.
I was wrong.
Oh.
It's still brutal out there. I don't like it. I like staying in here where it's warm. But thank you, Aiden, and throwing it over to Tanner for sports.
The big game is set. The Rams and Bengals will meet in roughly 2 weeks to decide who is this year's champion. But first, both teams had updates about their tight ends. Bengals tight end CJ Uzomah suffered an MCL sprain in the conference championship Sunday. The initial diagnosis is encouraging, and there's a chance he will play. Rams tight end Tyler Higbee suffered a similar MCL sprain as well, and just like Uzomah, has a chance to play. A possible Eastern Conference final matchup takes place tonight at the world's most famous arena. The Atlantic Division leading Florida Panthers travel to Madison Square Garden to take on the Rangers at 7 p.m. The two teams have split the season series in which the home team has won each a game. The Rangers are home tonight, of course. The Devils lost to the Toronto Maple Leafs by a score of 6-4. The two teams will meet again tonight as part of the second half of a home and home. The MLB and MLB Players Association will meet again today to discuss the new collective bargaining agreement. Fans are starting to get worried as spring training will start soon. LA Angels two-way player Shohei Ohtani was selected as the cover athlete for MLB The Show 22. The game's release date is set for April 5th, 2022. The possible NBA Finals matchup will take place tonight. The Nets travel to Phoenix to square off against the Suns, and the Knicks defeated the Sacramento Kings 116-96 and improved to 24-27.
Awesome. Thank you. And moving on into our top story today. Last week, we brought you updates about the Russia, Ukraine, also US issue where they're like, guarding Ukraine.
Yeah.
So
got
Russia
troops in
doesn't
there.
invade. But then Russia's like, no, it's actually the US who wants to invade. It's a whole
Yeah,
big.
it's the new it's the show the story of the week.
Exactly. And we have updates right here as Russia has accused the West of whipping up tensions over Ukraine. They also added that the US has brought pure Nazis in power to Kyiv. This all occurred at the UN Security Council meeting that was held to discuss Moscow's troop buildup near its southern neighbor, Ukraine. U.S. Ambassador Linda Thomas Greenfield shot back that Russia's growing military force of more than 100,000 troops along Ukraine's borders was, quote, the largest mobilization in Europe in decades, end quote. She continued to say that there has been a spike in cyber attacks and Russian disinformation as well during this time period. Greenfield also added, quote, and they are attempting, without any factual basis, to paint Ukraine and Western countries as the aggressors to fabricate a pretext for attack, end quote. It should be noted that Russia's UN ambassador, Vasily Nabenzia, left the UN Security Council before the addresses by Ukraine's ambassador, Sergei Kislitsa. And hours later, the Russian government sent a written response to US proposal aimed at de-escalating the Ukraine crisis. A State Department official declined to offer details of the response, saying it, quote, would be unproductive to negotiate in public, end quote, and they would leave it up to Russia to discuss their counter proposal. Sounds like a big old scenario of he said, she said.
Yeah, no, it's kind of funny. We talked about this last week, and basically nothing's changed except the tensions are higher.
Yeah.
And it seems, unfortunately, like there's really no other direction it can go. Everyone's digging in their heels and saying, nope, you're the aggressor. And I guess that's how these things always go to an extent. But I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea where it's going to, how it's going to culminate.
Yeah.
What's going to happen.
Because the thing is, it's not like there's any disbelief on either side. It is entirely within possibility that each country is like, oh, they're saying they're going to do this, so we should put troops here just in case, when they really mean we want it for ourselves. That could go for either way.
Yeah, and it's hard because, like, honestly, like both sides have engaged in this sort of behavior before.
Exactly.
It's really nothing like I don't know, like Russia, like saying, like, I'm not really sure if what they said about the US bringing pure, like, quote, pure Nazis, end quote, to power in Kiev. I don't know if that's true. I don't know who's in charge in Kiev, but I definitely know that things like that have happened before.
Right. Exactly.
And it's but yeah, it's really hard to tell, like, if they're just using that just for the thing, but yeah, it's just gonna kind of keep moving until I don't know. I hope some sort of agreement's reached. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this final thing, a State Department official declined to offer details of their response, saying it would be unproductive to negotiate in public. That doesn't sound like they're looking to negotiate, but I could be reading that wrong.
Yeah, doesn't that mean they're gonna negotiate in private if it's not gonna be?
yeah, that's the implication. but
Yeah, that's what I assumed.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll hear more about this next week, and it'll be better news
Yeah,
rather
hopefully.
than Russia and the US are blaming each other like little children.
Yeah.
yeah.
hopefully
Anyway,
things get better.
Jake.
This does have a very kid-like vibe to it.
Yeah.
But moving on, no
Yes.
more geopolitics. Updates following the tragic bridge collapse. According to the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation, the bridge that collapsed in Pittsburgh last week showed signs of deterioration during a September inspection. Somehow, the deterioration was not bad enough to require its closure. The agency will not release the full inspection report. As with previous inspections, the September 29th examination rated the steel K-frame bridge at 4 on a scale of 0 to 9, which is deemed a poor rating. PennDOT spokesperson Alexis Campbell added, quote, "The bridge's design relies on the quality of frame elements alone without any backup support, and reports show deterioration that did not warrant closure, but supported the imposition of a posted weight limit to restrict the weight loads." The bridge was built 5 decades ago, and there are 5 more bridges with a similar design. The reason for the collapse remains unclear. City officials said 10 people, including some first responders, were evaluated and treated for minor injuries, and 3 people were taken to local hospitals with injuries that were not life-threatening. The collapse ruptured gas lines that ran along the bridge, causing a large gas leak and the subsequent evacuation of several families from their homes.
Okay, number one thing. So we read, if you recall, I believe it was either last semester or over the summer, the building collapse in Florida,
Yes.
where they basically said, yeah, this thing was in bad condition, but we just didn't do anything about it. And here you have history repeating itself. They're like, yeah, this thing's a 4 out of 9. It's fine. I don't
Yeah.
understand.
It'll work.
I don't know how you look at something like a bridge that a lot of people drive over and see that there might be deterioration. You rated it a 4, and you say, all right, we're gonna let people drive on this.
That is
The-
less
you
than
could-
half.
You could take time and do construction so people don't get injured.
Yeah.
I'm sure if the people knew that the bridge was deteriorating, they would be okay with the traffic.
Yeah.
So this doesn't happen.
Look, 5 years of construction is a lot better than several months in the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the issue. I feel like, I don't know. No one wants to do anything until it's like,
Too late.
yeah, that's that might be the issue that defines this generation and possibly humanity.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't know, that is so widely applicable, where it's like you don't take action until it's like I don't know, it's already too late. Ugh.
I don't get it. It's sounds like human stupidity to me, but
I don't know,
And-
or maybe the incentives of capital.
They should the
Yeah.
5 other bridges who they should get started working on them this second.
Oh, if they
Yeah.
don't,
Oh,
that is
yeah.
If they
incredibly
don't.
concerning.
I also the one thing that popped out to me was that the agency is not releasing the report.
That is tough.
So maybe it wasn't a 4.
do
I'm
you
not-
think it's
Mm.
lower?
It could if they're not releasing it.
I don't know
because
if they'd
why
say it's
why
a-
would they not release it?
I don't know. I don't
if
know
it-
if I'd say that they're straight up lying about it being a 4, and like a 4 is pretty bad. Like I wouldn't say that that's untrue, but it's possible that there is other information that would be even like further incriminating.
Oh
Well-
yeah, the report probably just says, oh yeah, the entire support system was missing, and we just said, okay.
I mean, I would be interested in seeing what constitutes a 4. Like, clearly, if a 4,
Mhm.
they look at that and they're like, oh, that's okay. Clearly, they need to change how they inspect something like this.
Well, I mean,
Because, other bridges could be a 4 and they can say, oh, it's fine. And then something like this happens. They need to adapt considering what just happened.
Right.
yeah, and I think some good news come out of this is I think Governor Kathy Hochul said there's a bridge that's connected to New York. I think in like around Perth Amboy that's like really needs renovation, and she said that's happening. It's gonna be like a few $1 million, but it's worth it.
That's
So
good to
this
hear.
doesn't repeat itself again in the tri-state area.
But I will guarantee this is not the last time we're going to hear a story like this. But in the meantime, we're going to head to a short break. And when we come back, we have some more news for you here on the Morning Buzz. Stay tuned. Jake, would you like to take away our top story today?
The top story.
Not the top story, not the top of the show
Yes.
story, the top of this hour specifically.
Okay. So the headline, I don't know if this is the actual, I guess it's the New York Post, so they wouldn't be above having a headline like this. But the headline goes, Whoopi said what?
I can almost guarantee you that's probably not the headline.
I'll
I'll double check on that.
Oh yeah,
but
no. The actual
ahead.
headline is Whoopi Goldberg slammed after saying the Holocaust was, quote, not about race, end quote. Co-host Whoopi Goldberg caused absolute madness on ABC's The View yesterday. On the show, she insisted that the Holocaust was not about race. While discussing a Tennessee school district's recent ban of the Pulitzer Prize-winning graphic novel Mouse about a Holocaust survivor, Goldberg argued that the genocide was broader than a race-based injustice. The Holocaust isn't about race. No, it's not about race. She repeatedly said that statement. It's about man's inhumanity to man. Other View co-hosts were quick to disagree. Well, it's about white supremacy. Quote, well, it's about white supremacy. That's what it's about. End quote. Interrupted political strategist Anna Navarro. Quote, it's about going after Jews and gypsies. End quote.
And then Whoopi.
Yeah,
came
yeah, and
back
then
with-
Goldberg argued, but these are two groups of white people. You're missing the point. The minute you turn it into race, it goes down this alley. Let's talk about it for what it is. It's how people treat each other. It's a problem. It doesn't matter if you're black or white, because black, white, Jews, Italians, everybody eats each other. End quote. Following these statements, the online world was shocked. They were destroying her online, questioning how she could even say something like that.
Okay, now I throw out this question. Was it not about both?
Okay, so
Isn't like part of race like a big thing? Like the big problem of it is like man's inhumanity to man.
yeah, I mean, yeah,
It
but
feels
also
like it
just
shouldn't
like
be
this is just
exclusive
so
to one.
stupid. It's so dumb.
Well,
It's
that
such a
too.
dumb
Yeah.
thing to say.
Even debating
Why?
it.
Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. I feel like, I don't know, talking about race is
Yeah.
just really hard for people and it makes them uncomfortable. So they just want to be like, they just want to take it out of the equation with anything. And it's just like, I don't know. That's harmful. Saying that the Holocaust was not about race
Wow.
is very, like, well, first of all, it's untrue. It was
Mhm.
100% about race. That's what, like, I don't know, and understanding it, why it happened, because that's the big reason why we talk about, like, Holocaust remembrance, so
Right.
preventing it from having it happen again. If you want to understand why the Holocaust happened, you need to understand the racial dimension of it. You need to understand
Mhm.
that people wanted an ethno state where only one type of person existed and every other type of person was exterminated. That's why that happened.
And yes, it is true that the Jewish people and gypsies weren't the only people persecuted during World War II, but that doesn't dismiss the fact.
Mhm.
Like there were other people, like those who tried to help them, who were coupled in with it, but that just doesn't make it broader.
Yeah, no, it's just such an odd thing to say.
I'm like really trying to figure out how to contribute because I'm just like really confused by it. Like, why was this even a topic that she continued? Like, she made a comment and then someone was like, maybe, perhaps not, and then kept going with it. And it's like, let's just stop. Like, this is obviously a very heavy topic for a lot of people, and
Yeah.
it's just like I didn't know that was up for debate. You know,
I don't.
It really
think-
isn't. It's just
Like,
like a
where did that come from?
celebrity saying things.
Look,
you know,
I don't know Whoopi either personally or just well at all, but why?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
yes, there are a lot of celebrities out there. It's just like I'm gonna start a fire today. Let me just say this.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Wow.
Whoopi has a history of being one of those people, but I feel like part of the reason is just like, let me just start controversy because why
Mhm.
not?
I mean, what's kind of surprising for me is I don't know her that well, but I didn't expect it. I don't.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like I don't know if this was intentionally controversial, but that is something that does come to mind.
yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
People say anything to stay in the loop, you know?
That's true. According to Isaiah, she's usually the level-headed one.
Right?
yeah.
That's why I'm very confused and I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah. What?
Or at least she normally plays the level-headed one.
Yeah.
And like I've never seen The View, but I feel like in
Yeah,
film.
what
Yeah.
exactly is The View? Is it just like a?
It's like a
normal-
talk
It's a talk, it's
Honestly,
a talk show.
It's not that far from this, if you think about
okay,
it. It's
yeah.
like a roundtable
Yeah.
discussion.
Except worse.
Hey.
Hey, I was gonna say that too.
You won't get
I mean,
takes this bad on the morning buzz.
There
people. I'll
are-
make sure of that. At least
there
not
are-
on this on
This Tuesday is so good.
at least not on this day.
We're all sensible, level-headed people here.
Yeah.
I think.
Actually,
Well,
I'd hope on no days you get takes
Yeah.
this bad.
It's not even a take. It's just being stupid. There's a difference.
honestly, and I don't know. There's at some point where sure you can make like a bad comment, but like please stop. Like
There's one
like,
thing about making a bad comment. It's another thing to repeatedly make that
Yeah,
bad
like,
comment.
yeah,
Yeah.
really
Who's trying to
dug
defend
your
it?
heels then.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Ugh, yikes.
I need to. Okay, I'm just. Mouse seems like a cool book. I'm gonna say that, and I want to read it.
It
Um,
was in my one. I had to do an assignment.
Oh, really?
I had to do an assignment based on like part of it was history of comic books, and that was one of them talking about like political stuff.
Yeah,
I didn't read it, but I saw it.
Was it Jake? You looked it up?
What mouse?
Yeah.
I've came across it and
Do you know
Story.
when it came out? If it's
It
new
came
or
oh, it's
out-
older, right?
It came out 1980.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have thought that just because like I don't know comic books. I feel like
yeah, it didn't have a huge.
that's surprising to me. But
Oh.
yeah, no,
that's a whole other topic. There's so many books that are being banned.
Yeah,
Side comment.
but we can discuss.
I think
that
it's
later.
it's a series of books.
Oh, okay,
there's-
like different
Mm.
volumes.
Yeah.
Well, we can definitely talk about that later. Speaking of later today on WMSC, we have King's Chaos right after this. If you've been listening to the Morning Buzz, you know the drill. I don't leave the station for 3 hours. After that is Tauber time, 12 to 1, but really, who cares?
I heard King's Chaos.
Hi, Mike is here.
Hi, Mike.
We got tunes on
Give us
Tuesday,
some
2
chaos,
to
Mike.
3. Off the rails,
Monday.
3 to 4. It's a Zillennial Life, 4 to 5. I believe tunes on Tuesday again, 5 to 6. Right, Emo?
More like 6.
It is at 5 to 6.
Thank you. The Metal Teddy Bear Experience from 7 to 10, and the Late Night Show, 10 to 11. That's about all I have to say on that. We will have my guest, or at this point, co-host joining me again, Monty Zuniga, Mike Foley, and Emil McCormack, because we don't have anything better to do on Tuesday.
Yeah. I mean, I could do.
I
I could-
groceries.
Yeah, there's things I could do on Tuesday.
I,
But will I?
'cause I know I'm messing with Kyle. I don't know if you're messing with Kyle.
No.
Like I'm
I
kind
mean, yeah.
Well, we'll be back after this break. And when we come back, remember that Ask WMSC thing we did last week, guys?
oh gosh.
We have
Yes.
an Am I in the Wrong?
Hey, yo.
Oh,
Okay.
I am wrong.
Oh boy,
probably.
this one's something.
no.
Stay tuned
Oh,
for that.
no.
Oh,
Let me ask you all this. Am I in the wrong?
Yes.
If
Probably.
Yep.
I am a 30-year-old white man and my girlfriend is a 27-year-old Indian woman. We live together in North Carolina. My girlfriend loves to cook. She told me so on our first date. However, I'm not the biggest fan of Indian food. I find that a lot of spices used in Indian food irritate my stomach, and then I have a very low tolerance for hot and spicy foods. She never had an issue with this and never forced me to eat anything I didn't want to. In fact, whenever I stayed over, she made me things like pancakes and French toast, and they were incredible. She is a very good cook. 2 weeks ago, we moved in together. Our place has a large, fully equipped kitchen, and my girlfriend was ecstatic about all the things she can do. I was happy to see her so happy. However, in our excitement, I didn't realize how her food preferences can actually become a problem. You see, I didn't realize that she cooks and eats a lot of Indian food, like all the time. For the past year, whenever we spent time at each other's apartments, she always made things like ramen, pasta, lasagna, tacos, soups, grilled cheese, and of the sort. I figured that this is what she just normally ate. I have a few Indian American friends, and they've told me they don't exclusively eat Indian food at home, so I thought the same thing for her. Yesterday, however, she was super excited to show me something and dragged me into the kitchen. There, she unveiled a whole drawer of spices. We're talking 20 to 30 different types of whole, crushed, and powdered spices, neatly stored in glass bottles and labeled. I asked why she needed so many spices, and she replied, to cook Indian food, silly. I told her that I didn't like Indian food, and she told me not to worry. She wouldn't force me to eat anything. That's just for her meals. And then she said she made separate meals for me. I asked if she could simply not cook Indian food in the house at all, because the smell is so pungent, and if she could just cook regular food instead. She told me that Indian food is regular food to her, and I'm going to have to get used to it. I insisted, and she said she'll only consider giving up Indian food if I give up cooking meat in the home. She's vegetarian because she doesn't like the smell of meat being cooked. I told her that's unfair because she never objected when I cooked with meat at my apartment. She told me she's only demanding I give it up because I'm doing the same thing to her. I got quite mad and told her she was being extremely unreasonable, as I need meat. I work out a lot and I need the protein. But she doesn't need to eat Indian food all the time, and she can order takeout if she craves it. She told me that restaurants are not very good where we live, and it's unhealthy to eat takeout every day. We end up arguing for a while, and now we're not talking to each other.
Aw.
Keep in mind, this is not me.
Yes,
I'm
no,
reading
Kyle.
something else. I'm not the
What a
30-year-old white male.
story.
Also, I mean, the most unbelievable part of that story is if it was me, I would have a girlfriend, which is simply not true. Anyway, discuss. I think there's a pretty easy answer here.
Yeah, no, this dude's in the wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I just I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I am I'm not a vegetarian myself, but I feel like, I don't know. I think it's funny. It was like, I need meat. I work out a lot. I need the protein. Protein powder? Tofu? What is this?
Well,
I don't know.
That's a good point. I didn't even think of protein powder.
I don't know. I feel like that's a bad, but I don't know. I said,
I think this guy immediately lost credibility when he's like, "Can you just eat regular food?"
Yeah,
instead?
that was the
That-
real
that
tough
was
part.
Can
you eat normal people?
I poked my head up a little for that. I was like, that has vibes to it.
highlighted
That
it.
is some vibes. I don't know.
That
This guy's
seems-
definitely in the wrong.
That seems
This
so
dude thinks,
American to me.
Because and his whole point was that she could just order takeout if she wanted to, but he could do the same thing
Yeah.
if he wanted to. If he wanted a
Exactly.
burger. If he wants whatever, and there's probably more places too.
Yeah.
To get a
Oh,
burger
definitely.
around.
Yeah, exactly. Here's my thing. He had some credibility.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
your body is not equipped to handle the taste or smell of food, of Indian food. I get that. There are certain smells that make me sick to my stomach. But
Yeah, I do have to say, I don't know.
You could have
Can I
handled
just
it
be a
better.
bit of a bully and say
Go for
that
it.
kind of soft? I don't know. Get used to it. I don't know.
no,
That's mean. I
Honestly,
know. I
no.
know that's wrong, but
it would
I
take
don't
a
know.
lot to get used to it, especially the smell.
yeah.
But I
don't
think
know.
that's
It is a
just
very
something-
strong smell, but I don't know.
I feel like you have to just be willing, or even just have a genuine conversation about it. And
Yeah.
this guy, honestly, I had a moment of oh, he's fine. I guess he has a good point. That's just not something that he's interested in. And I guess he was kind of shook to find out. I guess it's reasonable to not understand that was her diet, but to say cook regular food instead,
not
and
really
then
valid.
demands that after he makes all of these demands that she has to adapt to his diet and he can adapt to hers, really is frustrating.
I think the only solution here is they just both wear gas masks around the house constantly, so she doesn't have to smell the meat. He doesn't have to smell the Indian food.
I don't know.
Get
Well,
rid
Only
of it.
solution.
I
If
feel
they
like-
ever talk to each
The
other
whole
again.
man.
I feel like that's
Remove.
like the thing. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Just remove the whole man.
Oh yeah, just
I think
break
that's
up
what
with him.
happened.
I mean that'd be a happy ending, but
Jeez.
also like
Sorry.
just get used to it. Like especially if you're not eating it and you just have to live with like
Yeah.
the smell.
Mhm.
Like isn't that like a thing that people say about houses that nobody knows what a house smells like, but people who don't live there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you get
Oh,
used to
yeah.
it. You know,
Exactly,
that's a thing that
exactly.
happens in your brain when you stay in a
Honestly.
space for a really long time. You,
Yeah.
you get
true.
your brain adapts to whatever smells and you don't smell it anymore.
And if
So
you
it's a
re-
non-issue. Like,
If you really love someone, you'd be willing to do
Yeah.
something like
Mhm,
that too. So
mhm.
that really makes me no offense, but like question their
No,
relationship.
that's
Mm.
right.
Also, Indian food is not bad.
no,
not.
not at all.
I rather enjoy the spices and everything that go in it. It's really good. I like it. But that's my opinion. Like I said, I'm not this 30-year-old white male.
Patty, actually.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that is going to bring us to the end of the morning buzz here
Aw.
on Tuesday, February 1st, 2022.
Happy
It is-
February, everybody. Sorry.
Yes, no, we didn't
Yes.
talk
Happy
about that.
February.
It's a new month.
We made
Yeah,
it.
woo. It is 9
Whoa.
o'clock here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. I have been and always will be Kyle Pepitone, I think, unless that might be subject to change.
His evil twin.
Twin.
Joined with my co-host
Ooh.
Jacob Goetz, newscaster Aiden Ivers, sportscaster Tanner Price, and segment host Emily McCormack. Everybody, have a great day. The Morning Buzz will be back tomorrow. And up next is King's Chaos.
Sports.